About half of what people do to show their pig love, the pig reads as either neutral or negative. That is not an opinion. That is a pattern that becomes obvious after watching hundreds of pig owner interactions over the years. Hugging means safety to a human. To a pig, it means being trapped. Picking her up means closeness to the owner. To the pig, it means losing control of her own body. Kissing her face means affection in human language. In pig language, a large face moving rapidly toward the snout is a threat display. None of this is the owner's fault. The problem is not bad intentions. The problem is a translation error between two species that feel deeply but express it in completely different ways. That is what this video is about. Not what to stop doing, we covered that last time. This is about what actually works. My name is Bob, and most of what you will find online about this is wrong. I have tested every single one of these with my own herd, and these are the 7 that made a real visible difference. The first one is the simplest, and it might be the most powerful. Get on the floor. Pigs are ground animals. Their entire world happens at floor level. When an owner stands above a pig, the pig is looking up at something large that could step on her, fall on her, or grab her from above. The power dynamic is vertical, and the pig is always on the losing end. But when someone sits on the floor, the geometry changes completely. The pig can approach at eye level. She can make contact on her own terms. She can walk away without feeling chased. Sitting on the floor for 15 or 20 minutes a day, doing nothing in particular, sends a message that no amount of treats can replicate. It says, I am making myself small and available on your terms. The first week of doing this consistently, the change is subtle. By the end of the second week, most pigs start approaching sooner, staying closer, and making more voluntary contact. Not because they were trained to, because the barrier came down. The boss of the group, the one who runs the herd like a small, furry manager, took the longest to come around. 3 weeks of floor sitting before she walked over and pressed her side against a knee. 3 weeks. And that one press meant more than 1,000 treats could have because she chose it on her terms, on her schedule, with zero pressure. The second one is about feeding. Not what to feed, that is a different conversation. How to feed. The ritual around food is one of the most powerful trust signals between a pig and a person. The standard approach is to fill the bowl, put it down, and walk away. That works, but there is a version that works significantly better. Hand feeding, not at every meal, but once a day, taking a small portion and offering it piece by piece at the pig's level from an open palm. This does 3 things simultaneously. It associates the person's hands with good outcomes instead of grabbing or lifting. It creates a calm, predictable, one-on-one moment that the pig can count on. And it gives the pig the choice to approach or not. That choice is critical. A pig that chooses to eat from someone's hand is making a trust decision every single time. And each time she makes it, the bond gets slightly stronger. The shy one in the herd took almost 2 weeks before she would eat from an open palm. 2 weeks of the same routine, same time, same spot on the kitchen floor. And then one morning she walked up, took a piece of apple, and stayed. Did not bolt, did not flinch, stayed. That moment was worth every one of those 14 days. Third, talking. Not commands, not baby talk. Narration. Pigs do not understand English, but they absolutely process tone, rhythm, cadence, and volume. A person who narrates their day in a calm, steady voice while moving around the house gives the pig a constant stream of auditory data that means safety. The pig learns what normal sounds like. She learns the voice pattern that means everything is fine. Over time, that voice becomes a comfort signal in itself. The pig hears it and relaxes, even in unfamiliar situations. It does not matter what the words are. What matters is consistency and calm. A monotone reading of a grocery list would work. A quiet description of what is for dinner would work. The content is irrelevant. The sound is everything. There is one more layer to this that people miss. Pigs distinguish between voices faster than most animals. Within the first few weeks, a pig knows the difference between the voice of her person and the voice of a visitor. The familiar voice triggers relaxation before any visual confirmation. The pig does not need to see who is talking. She already knows, and that voice recognition becomes a tool. On a stressful day, a vet visit, a thunderstorm, a new environment, The familiar voice is often the single fastest way to bring a pig's stress level down. Not food, not touch. The voice. Fourth, predictable routines. This connects to the feeding mistake from the last video, but it goes beyond food. Pigs read safety through patterns. Wake up at the same time, feed at the same time, go outside at the same time, sit on the floor at the same time. When the day follows a shape that the pig recognizes, she stops spending energy on vigilance and starts spending it on connection. Unpredictability makes pigs cautious. Predictability makes them brave. A pig that knows what comes next is a pig that can relax into the present moment. And a pig that is relaxed in the present is a pig that is available for bonding in a way that a stressed pig never can be. Fifth, doing nothing. This is the one that contradicts every instinct an owner has. When the pig is nearby, the impulse is to interact. Pet her, talk to her, offer a treat, do something to show love. But one of the most powerful things a person can do is sit near the pig and do absolutely nothing. Read a book, scroll a phone, stare at the ceiling. Let the pig exist in shared space without any demands, any stimulation, any expectation of engagement. This teaches the pig something that active interaction never can. It teaches her that proximity does not always come with a cry. Nobody is going to grab her. Nobody is going to pick her up. Nobody needs anything from her. She is allowed to be there without performing. That lesson, repeated daily, is what separates a pig that tolerates a person from a pig that chooses to be near one. And here's the subtle part. Over days and weeks, the distance shrinks. A pig that started out across the room begins settling a little closer, then a little closer. Then one evening, contact. Not because anyone asked for it, because the pig decided that nothing was the safest version of together she had ever experienced. That progression cannot be rushed, but it also cannot be faked. The pig knows the difference between a person doing nothing patiently and a person doing nothing while waiting for the pig to come over. Patience with expectation is still pressure. Patience without expectation is freedom. Sixth, respecting the departure. When a pig walks away from an interaction, let her go. No calling back, no following. No luring with a treat. The departure is not rejection. It is a pig exercising her right to regulate her own social battery. And the way an owner responds to that departure defines the quality of the next approach. If the pig learns that leaving is always respected, she will come back sooner because leaving feels safe. If the pig learns that leaving triggers pursuit, calling, or bribery, she will hesitate to approach in the first place because every approach carries the risk of being trapped in an interaction she cannot control the length of. Seventh, the slow approach with a pause. When approaching a pig, especially one that is resting or occupied, slow the walk, stop about 2 feet away, and wait. Do not reach, do not call. Give the pig 3 to 5 seconds to register the presence and decide how to respond. If she looks up with soft ears, that is an invitation. If she tenses or turns away, that is a boundary. This micro-ritual takes 5 seconds and costs nothing, but it tells the pig something enormous. It tells her that her consent matters, that she gets a vote in every interaction. That the person approaching respects her enough to pause and wait for a response before crossing the last 2 feet. Most people skip this step because it feels unnecessary. The pig is right there, she seems fine, why not walk up and pet her? The answer is that the pause is not for the person. The pause is for the pig. And over time, that pause becomes one of the most trusted signals in the entire relationship. The thing is, none of these 7 require money, equipment, or special skills. They require attention. And that is actually the deeper point. Pigs do not measure love in treats, toys, or the size of the bed. They measure it in consistency, calm, and respect for their boundaries. A pig that is loved well is not a pig that gets the most stuff. It is a pig that gets the most choice. Next video is going to shift the whole picture because there is something most pig owners never think about. The pig does not see the owner as a human. She has a completely different category for the person she lives with. And that category is more interesting and more meaningful than anyone expects.